Blessings and peace be upon him, Mohammed, through whose advent Batha, Mecca, is wreathed in smiles, and the sweet savours of whose raiment have shed fragrance upon all mankind. He who came to protect men from that which would harm them in the world below. Exalted, immensely exalted is his station above the glorification of all beings, and sanctified from the praise of the entire creation. Through his advent, the tabernacle of stability and order was raised throughout the world, and the ensign of knowledge hoisted among the nations. May blessings rest also upon his kindred and his companions, through whom the standard of the unity of God and of his singleness was uplifted, and the banners of celestial triumph were unfurled. Through them the religion of God was firmly established among his creatures, and his name magnified amidst his servants. And that's from Tablets of Bahá'u'lláh, revealed after the Kitab-i-Aqdas, page 162. There is so much misunderstanding about Islam in the West in general that you have to dispel. Your task is rather difficult and requires a good deal of erudition. Your chief task is to acquaint the friends with the pure teachings of the Prophet Mohammed as recorded in the Quran, and then to point out how these teachings have, throughout succeeding ages, influenced, nay, guided the course of human development. In other words, you have to show the position and significance of Islam in the history of civilization. And that was from Shoghi Effendi, the guardian of the Bahá'í Faith, from Lights of Guidance, number 1664. The mission of the American Baha'is is, no doubt, to eventually establish the truth of Islam in the West. And that's by Shoghi Effendi from Lights of Guidance, number 1665. The faith standing identified with the name of Baha'u'lláh disclaims any intention to belittle any of the prophets gone before him, to whittle down any of their teachings, to obscure, however slightly, the radiance of their revelations, to oust them from the hearts of their followers, to abrogate the fundamentals of their doctrines, to discard any of their revealed books, or to suppress the legitimate aspirations of their adherents. Repudiating the claim of any religion to be the final revelation of God to man, disclaiming finality for his own revelation, Baha'u'lláh inculcates the basic principles of the relativity of religious truth, the continuity of divine revelation, the progressiveness of religious experience. His aim is to widen the basis of all revealed religions and to unravel the mysteries of their scriptures. He insists on the unqualified recognition of the unity of their purpose, restates the eternal verities they enshrine, coordinates their functions, distinguishes the essential and the authentic from a non-essential and spurious in their teachings, separates the God-given truths from the priest-prompted superstitions, and on this as a basis proclaims the possibility and even prophesies the inevitability of their unification and the consummation of their highest hopes. As to Muhammad, the Apostle of God, let none of his followers who read these pages think for a moment that either Islam or its prophet or his book or his appointed successors or any of his authentic teachings have been or are to be in any way, or to however slight a degree, disparaged. The descendant of the Imam Hussein, the diverse and striking evidences in Nabil's narrative of the attitude of the herald of our faith towards the founder, the Imams, and the Book of Islam, the glowing tributes paid by Baha'u'lláh in the Kitab-i-Aqdas to Muhammad and his lawful successors, and particularly to the peerless and incomparable Imam Hussein, the arguments adduced forcibly, fearlessly, and publicly by Abdu'l-Bahá in churches and synagogues to demonstrate the validity of the message of the Arabian prophet, and last but not least, the written testimonial of the Queen of Romania, who, born in the Anglican faith, and notwithstanding the close allegiance of her government with the Greek Orthodox Church, the state religion of her adopted country, has largely as a result of the perusal of these public discourses of Abdu'l-Bahá been prompted to proclaim her recognition of the prophetic function of Muhammad. All proclaim, in uncertain terms, the true attitude of the Bahá'í Faith towards its parent religion. God is her royal tribute, is all, everything. He is the power behind all beginnings. His is the voice within us that shows us good and evil. But mostly we ignore or misunderstand this voice. Therefore did he choose his elect to come down amongst us upon earth, to make clear his word, his real meaning. Therefore the prophets, therefore Christ, Muhammad, Baha'u'lláh, for man needs from time to time a voice upon earth to bring God to him, to sharpen the realization of the existence of the true God. These voices sent down to us had to become flesh, so that with our earthly ears we should be able to hear and understand. What greater proof, it may be pertinently asked, can the divines of either Persia or Turkey require wherewith to demonstrate the recognition by the followers of Baha'u'lláh of the exalted position occupied by the Prophet Muhammad among the entire company of the messengers of God? What greater service do these divines expect us to render the cause of Islam? What greater evidence of our competence can they demand than that we should kindle in quarters so far beyond their reach the spark of an ardent and sincere conversion to the truth voiced by the Apostle of God, and obtain from the pen of royalty this public and indeed historic confession of his God-given mission. Indeed, the essential prerequisites of admittance into the Baha'i fold of Jews, Zoroastrians, Hindus, Buddhists, and the followers of other ancient faiths, as well as those of agnostic and even atheists, is the wholehearted and unqualified acceptance by them all of the divine origin of both Islam and Christianity, of the prophetic functions of both Mohammed and Jesus Christ, of the legitimacy of the institution of the imamate, and of the primacy of St. Peter, the Prince of the Apostles. Such are the central, the solid, and incontrovertible principles that constitute the bedrock of Baha'i belief, which the faith of Bahá'u'lláh is proud to acknowledge, which its teachers proclaim, which its apologists defend, which its literature disseminates, which its summer schools expound, and which the rank and file of its followers attest by both word and deed. Nor should it be thought for a moment that the followers of Bahá'u'lláh either seek to degrade or even belittle the rank of the world's religious leaders, whether Christian, Muslim, or of any other denomination, should their conduct conform to their professions and be worthy of the position they occupy. Those divines Baha'u'lláh has affirmed, who are truly adorned with the ornament of knowledge and of a goodly character, are verily as the head to the body of the world, and as eyes to the nations. The guidance of men hath at all times been, and is dependent upon these blessed souls. And again, the divine whose conduct is upright, and the sage who is just, are as the spirit unto the body of the world. Well is it with that divine whose head is attired with the crown of justice, and whose temple is adored with the ornament of equity. And yet again, the divine who hath seized and quaffed the most holy wine in the name of the sovereign ordainer is as an eye unto the world. Well is it with them who obey him and call him to remembrance. Great is the blessedness of that divine. He in another connection has written, that hath not allowed knowledge to become a veil between him and the one who is the object of all knowledge, and who, when the self-subsisting appeared, hath turned with a beaming face towards him. He in truth is numbered with the learned. The inmates of paradise seek the blessings of his breath, and his lamp sheddeth its radiance over all who are in heaven and on earth. He verily is numbered with the inheritors of the prophets. He that beholdeth him hath verily beheld the true one, and he that turneth towards him hath verily turned towards God, the Almighty, the All-Wise. Respect ye the divines amongst you, is his exhortation. They whose acts conform to the knowledge they possess, who observe the statutes of God, and decree the things God hath decreed in the book. Know ye that they are the lamps of guidance betwixt earth and heaven. They have no consideration for the position and merit of the divines amongst them, have verily altered the bounty of God vouchsafed unto them. And that's from The Promised Day Has Come by Shoghi Effendi, page 108. And finally, let none, however, mistake my purpose or misrepresent this cardinal truth, which is of the essence of the faith of Baha'u'lláh. The divine origin of all the prophets of God, including Jesus Christ and the Apostle of God, the two greatest manifestations preceding the revelation of the Bab, is unreservedly and unshakably upheld by each and every follower of the Baha'i religion. The fundamental unity of these messages of God is clearly recognized, and the continuity of their revelation is affirmed. The God-given authority and correlative character of their books is admitted. The singleness of their aims and purposes is proclaimed. The uniqueness of their influence emphasized. The ultimate reconciliation of their teachings and followers taught and anticipated. They all, according to Baha'u'llah's testimony, abide in the same tabernacle, soar in the same heaven, are seated upon the same throne, utter the same speech, and proclaim the same faith. And that's from Promised Day Has Come by Shoghi Effendi, page 107.